Student Advisory Council on Climate Change. It was created actually 2 years ago. We plan to have an online Earth Day Live event. As a part of that, we invited Director Lockwood and at the time President Jarrell Haynes of the Spokane Public Schools School Board. They came in really receptive to us, but I think they really thought that climate education was where it should be in the district, and what they heard overwhelmingly from students that day was that it wasn't.
They knew what they were talking about. We're supposed to be about student achievement, so I really saw this as kind of central to my role.
And so for the next 6 months, we went to every single school board meeting.
Anytime a student comes to a school board meeting, like, the energy just goes up.
I think like the second time that we met with them, they agreed to start the group.
TAC 3 is a student representation of climate change advocates. One of our main goals is to incorporate climate education into our school-wide curriculum. That's one of the most important reasons why it's essential for us to collaborate with the school district.
I think that working with the administration and the school board has been a super awesome experience. They've treated me as someone who actually has something to say.
Part of the difficulty is students want instant change. In a larger system, especially the size of Spokane schools, it takes time. And we're really just trying to help them elevate without having to go through a lot of logistical structures and that take a lot of time, including partnering with the Gonzaga Center for Climate Change.
We're partnering with Spokane Public Schools in a number of different ways. So we're one of the many different community organizations in the state that has a ClimeTime grant through the Office of the Superintendent of Public Instruction, OSPI.
We offer professional development for in-service teachers, elementary, middle, and high school, so they can learn how to incorporate climate literacy into their classrooms.
Young people are already experiencing the effects of climate change, but they don't yet have it incorporated into their classrooms. And so when they come in, it's sort of marrying their lived experience with understanding the phenomena and what they can do about it.
I've always believed that it is not lack of passion in young people, it's lack of knowledge. I think that once you learn about the realities of climate change, it's impossible not to care, and it's impossible not to feel that passion.
When we first got SAC 3 started, we had a list of like 30 things that we could do. And we realized that each one of us has our own twist on what it means to be an environmental activist. So as we've grown through the last 2 years, we've started to have a lot of different subcommittees.
My subcommittee is working on the Spokane Climate Cup, a joint project with GU's Climate Center.
There's this website called We Renew that we can use to track our carbon emissions.
And then the goal is from all 5 major high schools, which school is emitting the least amount of carbon, who is saving the environment the best.
It really reflects teacher initiative. We're counting on the teachers to adopt about 2 days of lesson plans to talk to their classrooms about climate change.
We also have a subcommittee working on administering like a 7-question survey about climate education. And the findings of that survey said that 79% of students, grade 5 through 12, believe that climate change should take a higher priority in education.
When they were able to look at the data, it's pretty interesting and really important that we as a district and adults really clearly see the perception of students.
The survey is supposed to be kind of a yearly gauge of how we're doing as a district. And we're hoping that students that aren't receiving climate change education is going down and down every year. And I think that the more and more that happens, the more time that groups like SAC 3 can be supported.
I'm so excited for the Earth Day rally. This is really the first thing in person, like big, that we've gotten to do since COVID.
I've been working with the Spokane Climate Coalition and just trying to get as many youth out here as possible.
For any students who are interested in forming a group like SAC 3, I would say keep fighting. I would say it's worth it.
Climate change is the fight of our generation. For the next 50 years, there will be effects of climate change happening rapidly.
If you're passionate about it and you really want to take it seriously, now is definitely the time to take action.
It is youth passion that changes minds. I think that the district didn't agree to create SAC3 because I showed them a list of facts about climate change. I think that they agreed to found SAC3 because they saw our passion.
Education is power, and I think that groups like SAC3 are working to empower students.
We are the future generation, and one way or the other, we will be in power and we will get this done. That's why SAC3 is fighting for climate education K through 12.